o'clock, and we are going to start now with our virtual trainers forum on constructive alignment of basic, common, and core competencies in the delivery of competency-based trainings. First of all, I would like to welcome all of you who took time out of your schedule on Saturday to be with me as I share my thoughts on constructive alignment of the basic, common, and core competencies in the delivery of competency-based trainings. Well, initially, this was intended only for the trainers in Agusan del Sur. However, when I posted my announcement, I received requests from other provinces, from other trainers, from my friends, and from other stakeholders. So I decided I might as well have this open to everyone interested to learn, you know, because this is very relevant now, especially for the technology trainers in TESDA. We have a policy directive to implement the basic competencies integrated with the 21st century skills. However, we have made attempts in the process of integration by simply adding the 9 basic competencies intended for every national certification levels. Because all in all, there are 45 basic competencies, as you will see it later in my presentation. However, what I have observed is that a lot of TVIs, when they submitted the revised competency-based curriculum, just simply added the 9 basic competencies. And then when I asked the trainers how they're going to implement all the tests, they conducted a trainer's training on this. No? However, I still feel the need that unless we truly understand what are the 21st century skills, because these basic competencies have been modified. Usually there were only 5 basic competencies for all training programs in national certification level 1. There were 4 basic competencies only for NC level 2 programs. And there were 5 for NC level 3 programs, and so on. So they were not standard, no. And then the strands, no, the different strands were not common to all the what do you call this, to the different certification level. Now, the change done by TESDA starting September of 2019 was to come up with an amended set of basic competencies for every certification level, this time having now common 9 basic competencies for every program and in all certification levels. So what happens now is there is a spiral development. So the same strands for all the 5 PQF levels, but with a different focus or emphasis for every certification level. So the question is, how prepared are our trainers to embrace these basic competencies, to conduct their trainings, to train their trainees, to deliver their trainings, the basic competencies? How prepared are they in the context of the 21st century skills? So we have to understand very well. A trainer has to understand, why do we have to develop the 21st century skills? Because unless we understand by ourselves, unless we are truly convinced that this thing is going to create something positive out of our learners, then we become passionate and we become advocate of doing it, no? So I have been reflecting since September last year, when this was when this has become mandatory for all training programs. In fact, the policy directive of Secretary Isidro La Peña was so very categorical that all regional and provincial offices are going to monitor closely the implementation of the amended basic competencies integrated with 21st century skills. there was capability building program given by TESDA for some lead trainers in all the regions. However, sad to say, this has not cascaded down, or maybe there was 1 day or 2 day orientation pertaining to the basic competencies. So these are the basic competencies for every certification level. Then that's all. And to me, as an educator, I don't think that makes the trainers prepared to implement or to deliver their trainings insofar as the basic competencies are concerned. Hence, after several months of reflection, in fact, I already introduced this in Agusan del Sur. In fact, I could remember this was not yet mandatory, but I introduced this already in my previous provincial assignments because even before TESDA made this mandatory, I am already an advocate of the 21st century skills. For the main reason that we have to produce trainees, we have to capacitate our learners, we have to uh, develop them, hone their skills, their core competencies in the context of the challenges of, or in the context of the challenges of the environment where they are bound to be. So finally, then the pandemic came, and then my plan to share this has been overtaken. But still, I have been receiving inspiration every time I pray to share this. That's why my discussions this morning, and I'd like to make this clear, is not a policy directive for everybody, because I am only effective insofar as Agusan del Sur is concerned. So for the other trainers coming from the other provinces and for the other participants, now just enjoy your learning experience with me, no? Because I will just be sharing my best thoughts. I will be sharing what I have understood for years. Because even I joined TESDA 16 years ago. I was still a DepEd. I was still with DepEd. From the time I was a school principal, then I became a supervisor, then I became an assistant superintendent. I was already working along the 21st century skills. So practically, I have gained that level of competence and confidence to share my thoughts. Most especially, I will just have barely few more years to stay in the government service, as I am about to reach my senior year, and should I decide to stay for a few more years, then it would just be about less than half of a decade, no? So I feel and I thought that all these things I have learned through the years, the wisdom I have gained through my work experience for about almost 4 decades, no? uh, working in the government for almost 40 years with all the insights and learnings and the experiences, both the sad and the happy experiences, I feel, make me in the best position to share these experiences with you, because I don't want to keep them with me when I retire. I want to leave this behind. At least there will be some of you who will catch my thoughts, who will catch my ideas, and then will decide. You may not find the relevance. You may not yet be convinced. But I tell you, one day soon in the future, like when I was talking about the things that should be done. What do you call this? When I was still in DepEd, I was talking about school-based reading program. I was talking about corrective reading and all these things. It surfaced after 10 years. So I was telling myself, uh, is that how advanced is my thinking? So practically what I'll be sharing with you, when this will really come into full bloom, when everybody will be talking about basic competencies with 21st century skills, possibly I will no longer be in the service. Then I will just, I am looking forward to that day No, not that day when I will just be sitting on my rocking chair, and then I will hear everybody talking about implementing the basic competencies with the 21st century skills. Then at least I could say, oh, I was one of the first advocates for that. I know the 21st century skills have long been there, but as to how we contextualize it to our work, how we contextualize something is the one that makes a difference. In fact, the latest contribution that I have made uh, with the support of Tess Jacaraga family was before I was just working on digitizing the documents of program registration and assessment and certification, centers, accreditation, and so on. So I was tinkering ideas that I think in order to have an easy retrieval of these documents, I should come up with a kind of system so that during audit these documents can be easily retrieved. And lo and behold, when I shared this with the internal audit service, this was captured, and now this has been adopted. No, so that is just how I work. That is just my attitude. Take it or leave it. But I assure you, one day you're going to find a situation. You will be faced a situation. You are going to what do you call this? Encounter a situation where you will recall that I think this is what Director Guillermo was telling us several years ago, 15 years ago, 10 years ago. And this is the best, this is always the best thing to do if we want to immortalize ourselves. If we want to leave big footsteps behind us, then let us do something positive. Let us contribute even little knowledge, because that little knowledge will grow as many people will enhance them, will make them better. And in fact, when people modify my ideas, that's why I share anything. Whatever I have developed, I share it with everyone without any point of selfishness, without any consideration, without even expecting for any recognition. I just share them whatever I have. I share my writings. I share my concepts. I share my plans. I share everything. I share my assessment tools and everything to anyone who likes to use them, because that is the way how I would like to immortalize myself. That is how I would like to be remembered when I am dead and gone. No, of course, to say dead is being morbid, but that is just how it is. No. So this is the reason we are having this, and now the time has come. In fact, the series ito, I am so preoccupied with many things. Next Saturday, I will be having my virtual orientation on the what do you call this? Online test wiseness online course. This is what others say. It's a review for the civil service exam. But I don't call it review, because there is no such thing as review. What I always say is that is test wiseness. No, so I develop materials for a review that I conducted last year, as requested by Secretary Isidro Lapena. I conducted last year a review for all the job order personnel in the central office. And so one day, during the time of pandemic, I was going over my files and I found this folder containing all the materials. And so I said, okay, sayang ito. So sayang itong mga materials. I think I should share this with the rest, especially those who don't have time to prepare themselves for the career service examination. So what I did, I engaged in a collaborative work with my two daughters who are in TESDA. My eldest daughter is the chief of the Regional Operations Division of TESDA 4A, and my other daughter is a trainer at the Provincial Training Center in Northern Samar. So I asked them, you help me come up with a learning management system so that we can put this up. And so anybody who would like to prepare herself or himself for the career service examination, for the civil service examination, can just enroll free. This is free. In fact, I posted this in Facebook. You can come and enroll and stay in the LMS for as long as you like. Until such time, you take the exam. Then if still you don't make it, go back to the LMS, because I am not approximating the contents of the civil service exam, but I have addressed the competencies that are being measured by the career service examination, whether it is professional or whether it is sub-professional. And in fact, I have some thoughts to even bring it higher to the career executive service, no? Because I am also a career executive service officer. And practically, I have coached a lot of CESOs now who took the assessment center and they made it, no? So I said, why don't I document the things that I do, and then share them with all those who would like also to raise their lives to a higher level, no? Because I feel so blessed. God has given me the best things in life, and I would like that many people would also share all this bounty that I have what do you call this, received from God. Because I have always advocated that knowledge is not knowledge unless you share it with everyone. Just like, so in the end, I know these are my talents, and at the right time when I will have to face my mighty judge and render an accounting of the talents that he gave me, at least I can just say at one point in time, there were those who attended my virtual sessions, my learning sessions, and all the rest. And with that, I am very sure the only thing I desire at the end of the day is to make sure that God will smile at me before I sleep, no? Because when the moment I feel that God is smiling at me when I sleep, then that will give me a very sound sleep, confident that I am sleeping in God's what do you call this? In God's embrace, no? So ganun lang. If we can have this kind of attitude, then this will be a better world, no? No, what do you call this? No hesitation to share anything. Bahala kayo. If you find this useful, in fact, that is what I have been misunderstood for years, no? Kay maingon nga, kay gahambog lang na siya because nagyayabang or whatever. Well, I did not mind what they were saying. Basta ako, despite all the rejections, despite all the criticisms that I have received, I never stop doing good and sharing the best things I have enjoyed in life. Because the bottom line is, it will always be my relationship with God that will matter most. Next is my family, no? So let us now, that's the background, no? So again, I am not making this as what do you call this, I am not giving policy directives. If you learn from this, then it's up for you how you're going to apply it. But for the trainers in Agusan del Sur, this is going to be something that you have to apply in your in your competency-based trainings, no? Susundan ko ito, no? So, but of course, that will always be with the proper guidance and mentoring from me. You know very well that I never let you move forward. I walk with you. I walk with everyone. In fact, even those from other provinces, I am still part of their journey. Just like when I received a lot of testimonials during last World Teachers Day, no, that until this time I did not expect that I am still part of their journey. And to me, it's the best consolation. It's the best testimonial that I received when people tell me how I have touched their lives and how their lives have become better because of the things that they have learned from me. So, uh, to properly start our session, let us put ourselves before the presence of God, thank Him for this session, and then let us join, if you like to join in singing our doxology.
the pain that life may bring. There's no other hope that I can lean upon. Lead me, Lord, lead me all my life. Walk by me across the lonely roads that I may face. Take my arms and let your hand show me the way. Show the way to live inside your heart all my days, all my life. You are my light, you're the lamp upon my feet. All the time, my Lord, I need you there. You are my light, I cannot live alone. Let me stay by your guiding love all through my life. Lead me, Lord. Lead me, Lord. Even though at times I'd rather go alone my way. Help me take the right direction. Take your road. Lead me, Lord, and never leave my side. All my days, all my life. You are my light, you're the lamp upon my feet. All the time, my Lord, I need you there. You are my light, I cannot live alone. Let me stay by your guiding love all through my life. You are my light, you're the lamp upon my feet. All the time, my Lord, I need you there. I just cannot live alone. Let me stay by your guiding love all through my life, all through my days. So lead me, oh Lord. Lead me.
So again, I'd like to welcome everyone to the Virtual Trainers Forum on Constructive Alignment of Basic, Common, and Core Competencies in the Delivery of Competency-Based Training. No? By the way, for the information of the participants, this is also available being live streamed via Facebook in my personal account, because I receive requests from other trainers in Agusan del Sur that there is a possibility that they will have power interruption towards the later part of the day. And so they will just be watching, they will just be joining this virtual forum through their Facebook. So this is also available, it's also being live streamed. And then, good morning, Sir Tagumpay Santiago. I thought it was Migs who was attending the session. So I don't have any more time to reply, no. So kaya I just greet you, no, from Zamboanga del Sur, from PCCI, no. one of the finest school for criminology, no, in Zamboanga del Sur. Now, I shall be your resource person in this forum, no. So just enjoy, listen. If you have questions, reserve them, or you can put them in the chat box, and I will what do you call this? I will give my thoughts on your question. If your question is pertaining to policy or in TESDA, as I said, I can only speak for the province of Agusan del Sur, where I am the area manager. No, that is with due respect to your provincial directors, because they may have other policies. They may have their own policies pertaining to the implementation of the basic competencies in your province. No, so with due respect to their policies, my discussions will only be, what do you call this, advisory in nature. It's not mandatory, no. So just try to get and benefit from everything that we will that I will share with you today, no. So why are we having this activity? Why are we having this virtual forum? Why did I come to think of this? Uh, this virtual forum aims to strengthen the implementation of competency-based training. No? It shall provide technology trainers significant insights, approaches, and strategies in delivering the basic competencies in the context of the common and the core competencies required for a particular TVET qualification. We know for a fact the long time practice in TESDA, in any TVI implementing TESDA registered program, is they have the basic, yes, they have the common competencies, yes, and they have the core competencies. However, in big TVIs, a different trainer or group of trainers handle the basic competencies. Then the lead trainer, the one who holds the NTTC for that qualification, handles the common and the core competencies. So what happens is, this is based on my personal observation, what is being taught, what is being learned by the trainees, by the learners when they take the basic competencies, kung the proper time was given, was observed by the trainer, oftentimes what is sad is neglected pa ang basic competencies, no. Minsan nga hindi minsan nga ang may mga trainers na they go direct to the core competencies, they go direct to the assessment tasks, because all that they do is just to prepare their trainees for the assessments, so that they will pass the assessment and then they become certified. But so sad to tell you that the moment these certified workers, your certified trainees, go to the industry and they work, then they find themselves inadequate, no? Because the basic competencies have not been properly addressed, have not been properly developed. Lalo na noon that the basic competencies were just four. It only addressed communication, occupational health and safety, career professionalism, and values. But this time, it has covered all the requisites for an individual in order that he will be able to cope with the challenges in the 21st century environment, no. So ganon, no. So this time I thought of looking into this. I need as area manager, uh, provincial area manager, I prefer to use the word area manager, not director, no. So when we talk about training, no, when we talk about our delivery of services, no, so because we manage the area, no. So I thought of looking into how we can improve Sorry, there was power interruption in my area. No, so as I was saying, I hope I can be heard. I can be heard now. Yeah, okay, that's better. As I was saying, I had to look into the way the basic competencies have been implemented or are being done by the trainers, because for all you know, it means a lot, no, to develop the basic competencies of our trainers, no, of our trainees, I should say, of our learners. So that's why we are having this, no. So I'm just fixing my board here uh, for a while, because I have to monitor if we have questions. Okay, there. So the basic output, supposedly, this applies to the trainers in Agusan del Sur. The basic output of this virtual trainers forum is the development of a sample curriculum map that will show constructive alignment, the constructive alignment of the basic common and core competencies covered in a TVET qualification. Therefore, the time has come that the trainers should learn how to align, no. So what usually happens, kasi ang nangyayari, no, I have to speak in Filipino because there are other what do you call this, there are other trainers coming from Luzon as they requested to attend, no. So ang mangyayari ngayon is when the trainers will handle the basic competencies, they should anchor their activities on the core competencies. So for example, communication, workplace communication. So right at the basic competencies, dapat ang pag-uusapan na ng trainer, ang i-develop na ng trainer are the terminologies. Example, in welding, the terminologies that are used by welders, the situations that are experienced by welders, the circumstances, the contingencies that that welders should be ready to respond in the workplace. Kasi what happens is normally the usual way of delivering the training is pag workplace communication, they will just talk about the usual, the ordinary communication situations and learnings, no. So this is the change. So kailangan din mag-uusap if ever it's the practice of the school na ibang nagtuturo ng basic competencies, ibang nagtuturo ng common and core, kailangan mag-usap silang dalawa so that the activities in the basic competencies are anchored on the learning outcomes in the core competencies, in the common and the core competencies. Because I have been trainers commonly tell me na, sir, mag-usap man good me, uulitin kasi namin pagdating sa core because there are things na hindi pa nila alam na which should have been learned when they were taking the basic competencies. That's why I have thought of coming up with this idea, this innovation, this initiative. And I think trainers should learn how to align the competencies, the basic, the common, and the core competencies. If only we want to raise the bar of excellence, if we want to raise the quality of our learners, no. So because for all you know, when our trainees after they graduate, no, will apply for work, they are not going to demonstrate the core competencies at the time that they will be applying. Pag nag-a-apply sila ng trabaho nila, a welder will not be asked to perform welding activity. Pero paano ang proseso na dinadaanan ng isang aplikante na welder? Of course, lalo na pag overseas, lalo na pag in other countries, of course, mag-i-interview siya. And kapag na-interview na siya at hindi siya marunong sumagot, at hindi siya marunong if he does not know how to answer the question, how to make decision, how to, what do you call this, how to control his emotional responses. Kasi during interview, sometimes ipinoprovoke ang applicant ng interviewer to test the emotional stability of the applicant. Now, if these have not been addressed in the basic competencies during the formation of the trainees, when they were learning the basic competencies, then I tell you, our trainees will never get the best opportunity once they will look for them in the world of work. Yun, that is the very reason, no? Walang aplikante sa trabaho na magpe-perform agad ng core competencies. Kaya even the trainee, even that graduate, that certified worker is the best is the best welder, is the best dressmaker, is the best baker, but I tell you, pag hindi yan marunong sumagot, hindi yan marunong mag-contain ng emotional reactions niya, he does not know how to show courtesy during interview, the polite and courteous expressions, I tell you, any employer will be turned off with that behavior of the trainee. That's why I am, what do you call this? I thought of pushing this advocacy, this passion, no? So yan, what do you call this? Kaya constructive alignment. But when you talk of constructive alignment in the context of training, ang pag-uusapan din natin, aside from aligning vertical and horizontal articulation, the vertical articulation and the horizontal articulation, that's the context of the curriculum alignment. We are also going to look into alignment of the learning outcomes with the assessment tasks and the training activities, the learning activities. I-align natin yan, no? In fact, most of you trainers who are assessors also, I don't know if you can really pinpoint in your assessment the aspect for the basic competencies, because if you know, if you look into our national assessments, if you are an accredited competency assessor, you only focus your assessment decision on the kind of performance demonstrated by the candidate insofar as the core competencies are concerned, because you don't consider into the final scoring in the triangulation of the evidences paano mo kinonsider ang mga soft skills, no? So ito, we are going to address this, and this one-day trainers a virtual forum will open your minds, will open your eyes, and most of all will open your heart to give this a chance, no? Ito, ganito gawin natin ang pagti-training, ang pag-deliver ng training ng basic competencies. In fact, I have been passionately what do you call this, suggesting na sana yung trainer sa core should also be the trainer sa basic competencies. O yung trainer sa basic competencies should be immersed in the qualification ng kanyang mga trainees. So, if he is handling the training in carpentry NC2, and then he does not have any, what do you call this, background or orientation in carpentry NC2, then it's high time that you should take, what do you call this, you should retool yourself for that qualification that your trainees are enrolled in, no? So the curriculum map, because this is what you are supposed to do, the curriculum map shall serve as guide in the constructive alignment of the learning outcomes. Yung learning outcome ng basic competency 1, communication, workplace communication. Saang common at saang core competency yan? You will introduce, you will develop, and you will see it proficiently done by the trainees. So, yung learning outcome ng entrepreneurship, saang core competency yang papasok? This is what you are going to learn when I will explain to you how to do curriculum mapping. Those among you who have worked on your PQF level 5 programs, your diploma curriculum, you know what I am talking about, because you have worked, you have aligned the program learning outcomes to the different courses or the different subjects, no? But this time, borrowing that concept, we are going to align the learning outcomes for every unit of basic competency to the different common and core competencies. So yun ang hahanapin ninyo. And I'd like to request you, do continue gawin nyo ang exercise, keep on doing it for your respective qualification. So that if you are not handling any basic competency now, then the time will come, maybe next year or maybe in a year or two, then you will say, ako na rin ang magte-training ng basic competency. But if you are conducting community-based training, you have to do all. Say you're going to a community, you're going to a particular place where you will conduct, ikaw lang mag-isa. So then ang una, what usually happens is hindi itinuturo ang basic competencies properly. Just mention ganito, ganito, ganito. Then after that, go straight to the core competencies, no? You know, the illustration I'd like to use is that when you want to cook adobo, you have a lot of ingredients, no? Or say magkakape ka, no? Magkakape ka. The traditional way of preparing your coffee, you put sugar, you put the coffee, you put the creamer on a cup of hot water. Then once it is blended, no? Then mix it. Na-dissolve yung coffee, na-dissolve yung sugar, na-dissolve yung creamer, you no longer see the water, you no longer see the coffee, yung coffee powder, you no longer see the creamer, you no longer see the sugar. But what you will see now is a cup full of brownish liquid, and when you drink it, then that's where you taste the coffee. So ganito ang proseso, no? This is the process that we want to achieve, no? That we want. I would like to awaken the trainers to a point of realization na there is something to improve the way you are conducting your training. Hindi lang na ikaw ay trainer pang core ka lang, hindi na trainer ikaw ay pang common lang, hindi na trainer na pang basic competencies ka lang, but if you are conducting a competency-based training, regardless of your preparation, you are a trainer. You are supposed to be a trainer for the basic, the common, and the core competencies. Kaya kailangan aligned yan, no? Aligned, no? Because at this point in time, in the age of information technology, there are two important things that we should always consider: the point of alignment and the point of synchronicity. No, synchronize. Like for example, my laptop, my Mac Air is synchronized with my iPhone, with my iPad. So when they are synchronized, I can work in either of them, no? So yun ang synchronicity. So kapag ang mga trainers ay synchronized, then they work in one direction. They work as a team. They don't work as a group. Anong ipinagkaiba ng team at saka group, no? Well, when you work as a team, you work by function. But when you work as a group, then it's just a collective gathering of people doing the same thing. So, like example, when you work as a group, I will ask you, I will gather five individuals, and I will ask them to deliver letters. Okay, you deliver this letter in barangay 1. You deliver this letter in barangay 2. You deliver this letter in barangay 3. Now, all of them are doing the same thing in different places. That is a group. But if we work as a team, then ikaw ganito, ako ganito, and so on. Or then you come up with a synchronized synchronized efforts and aligned lahat ang direction. One cannot be faster than the other. Otherwise, you are not going to have order in your training, no? Synchronize. Nagtatanungan, where are you now? I am here. That is, if there are different people, if there are different trainers handling the different cluster of competencies. And this cluster of competencies I am referring to are the basic, the common, and the core competencies. Okay. So, for Test the Agusan del Sur, no? We are recharting our directions in delivering competency-based training. Recharting meaning we are refocusing it to the more urgent priorities, especially at this time of the pandemic. Nag-shift tayo to flexible learning deliveries. The question is, are we prepared? Are the trainers prepared? Nakapag-take ka ng 5 days na 10 days na fails, facilitating e-learning session, don't ever expect na magaling ka na. Because you were just uploading your materials. But pag gagawa ka na ng learning management system, you have to design your concept, you have to prepare your storyboard, you have to anchor it on the pedagogical approaches, the sequence. Well, if you follow Gagne's 9 instructional events, then you have to follow the sequencing. You have to use the taxonomy of learning objectives and doing all this. No, so the FELS did not address that much. You were only oriented on the different types of LMSs. No, so but still there is so much to do. And so for the trainers in Agusan del Sur, expect for more mentoring and coaching because that is what I am going to do. Hindi na kayo maghahanap sa Agusan del Sur ng experts, ng resource persons. I will do it myself because 14 years ago, I served as the executive director of the ETES, the Project Management Office, and I was the first executive director. No, una kong pinatakbo ang ETES, the portal noon. No, so and I was developing the learning materials and all e-learning materials, all those things. I was even going towards mobile learning, no, mobile learning and remote learning, no, which I did not expect. That was 14 years ago. Pag flip ng panahon, that is exactly what everybody is doing now. Kaya without considering the negative effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, I was smiling because I said, haha, my time has come. Ito pala. That's why I found myself so relevant. I found myself so useful. And I did not, I freely shared everything I knew. Kaya nga, in the TESDA Caraga region, we have been moving forward because I tried my best to guide everybody, to guide all the focal persons to share whatever I know. And the more inspired I became when none other than my regional director, RD Harry Banto, gave me all the playground and gave me all the support. That's why TESDA Caraga is soaring high now with the initiatives insofar as compliance audit, the digitization of documents, the online system, and there are still many other things coming out. In fact, I have just developed the online monitoring and tracking system for the scholarships. No, I am still refining it. I am still having my alpha testing. But the moment I find that it is now free from any glitch or any flaw, then I will again share that with everyone who likes to use it. Ganun lang naman ang buhay, no? So life becomes beautiful when we support each other, no? Life becomes we become more confident when we know that there are people who will be with us at our beck and call, no? Pag tinawag natin, they will be there. Ako pag nag-chat sa akin, PD, what should I do? Okay, then I give my personal thoughts. But I will always qualify. Ito ha, personal ko lang ito. This is my personal view. Because I am mindful of the authority of their provincial directors if they belong to other provinces. But that doesn't prevent me from sharing whatever I know, whatever I have. Kasi ganun lang, as I said, ganun lang ang buhay. No? And unless if we don't share, then we never enjoy. We will be like the Dead Sea. No? That's the saltiest sea. That's why pwede kang maglakad sa tubig because hindi ka lulubog because of the salt that is there, no? Kasi lahat ng asin sa buong mga dagat lahat doon naipon lahat. That's the Dead Sea, no? So I don't think you would like to be called a Dead Sea, no? Where everything is ikaw lang, sa akin lang, no? Me, no? So change that M to W, so it should be we. It should be we, no? So what is our framework for this virtual forum? No, this virtual forum, our framework is we will focus on the basic competencies, we will focus on the curriculum map, and we are going to focus on constructive alignment. No, so if we focus on the basic competencies, we will talk about the TESDA circular number 97 series of 2019. What is this TESDA circular? You will know later on. Because this is the legal basis. This is the basis why we are doing this. Why we are implementing the basic competencies integrated with 21st century. This will give us the signal that every TVI should implement this. Because there is a directive coming from our tested Director General to do this. No? Then, what are the 9 strands? No, 9 strands. So, kung sa buhok is strands, no? So the 9 strands, because the 9 strands are spiral in nature, meaning from NC1 to NC2 to NC3 and to NC4 and to PQF level 5, pare-pareho yan sila. They have all the 9 types of basic competencies. However, the point of articulation varies from every NC level to another NC level. No? Ito dapat maintindihan ng bawat trainer. Then the matrix para makita ng trainers. Ingon ani di ay ito pala pag communication, ito pala siya pag NC1, ito pala siya pag NC2, pag NC3, NC4 at saka PQF level 5. So that's the matrix. Then how will it be implemented? No? What should be the design of instruction? What should be the design of training? Then that is the curriculum design. And then knowing all this, the strands, the matrix, and the design, then how will it be delivered now in the workplace? Oh no, in the workstations, in the classroom. So yun, that is what we are what we will try to point out when we say the basic, when we talk about the basic competencies. Then we come to curriculum map. How do we go about with curriculum mapping? As I said, sa mga gumawa ng diploma curriculum, you know the process. But ang ginawa nyo is in the context of the 17 program learning outcomes, the PLOs. This time, ang gagawin is with the LOs of every unit of basic competency, you are going to situate them, contextualize them in the different common and core competencies. And then you will identify saan ito dapat i-introduce, saan ito dapat i-develop, saan ito dapat demonstrated na ng mga trainees. So ito, no? We will do that. And then we are going to have an individual activity. I'll just give you time to do. Then I will entertain 1 or 2 samples, 1 or 2 outputs. Those who would like to interact with me, share it, and what do you call this? I can give my 5 cents worth of suggestion. Then after the curriculum map, then the constructive alignment. This is the core of what we are. This is the heart of our session, of our forum today. Now, so what shall we look into? The constructive alignment framework. Paano nga ba ginagawa ang constructive alignment? No? Many alam ang constructive alignment sa CHED. No? Sa CHED. But this time, hindi ba pinag-uusapan sa test ng constructive alignment? I tell you, this is the first time na pag-uusapan ngayon. I don't know if they will join my conversation because I'm going to come up with series. I'm going to come up with a blog or what do you call this? Just conversations on constructive alignment, no? So, yan. What's the framework? And then, you're going to have a background, an idea how to go about with constructive alignment, especially with aligning your learning outcomes with your assessment activities, no? So that is constructive alignment and competency-based training. And then, I'll give you time to develop your sample learning activity, no? In sample, let you experience constructing a learning activity, applying now the constructive alignment principles. Okay. So, as we start now, so that was the introductory part. As we now begin formally our discussions, I would like to give these reflective questions, no? This reflective question, no? I'd like you to think about it. Let this question remain in your mind. Be focused to this question and find the answer to this question in the discussions that we are going to have, no? So what should be the reflective question? What is a 21st century mindset? No? Mindset natin. No? So we have our mindsets. And our mindset will show our bias or passion. No? So kapag ganun ang mindset, ganun tayo mag-isip. No? So do we understand that the 21st century no skills? No? So our goal here is, ang trainer dapat, you should develop the 21st century mindset of your trainees, of your learners. Ang question is, meron ka ba nun? No, because it's a classic principle in teaching and learning that one cannot teach if what he does not know. One cannot give what he does not have. No? Kaya nga, sabi pa, if you want to learn how to love others, love yourself first. Because one who has not experienced love personally cannot share that experience with others. One who is selfish will never learn how to be charitable. One who is what do you call this? One who is hateful will never learn to be kind and will never learn to appreciate. One who is envious, always his heart and mind is full of envy, will never learn to appreciate others. Instead, he will always look at others as threat of his own personal advancement. Kaya ganon, maraming mga taong insecure, maraming mga taong akala nila ay mauubusan sila, no? They live in a culture of what do you call this? They don't live in a culture of abundance. They live in a culture of scarcity, especially at this time of the pandemic. That's why there are a lot of people who do panic buying, as if they want to buy the whole grocery store. They want to buy, so they put everything, they hoard all these things kasi akala nila mauubusan sila. So yung mga sumusunod na bibili, wala na silang mabili kasi inubos, no? This is that kind of mentality that should be changed. This is the kind of mindset that should be changed. And if our trainees, our learners will not be oriented on the ideal mindset, on the 21st century mindset, then most likely the trainer will just you will just duplicate yourself among your learners, no? So usually when I see other people behave, how they behave, how they speak, how then the thing that I will always tell myself quietly is siguro ganyan sila sa bahay niya, no? Ganyan siya sa bahay nila. Siguro ganyan siya pinalaki ng parents niya, no? Or sasabihin naman kasi hindi naman yan lumaki sa parents, so no wonder he or she did not experience the genuine love of a father, of a mother, no? So ganon. But if one person has been lavished with all the affection, the attention, the care, first from the family, then no wonder that person will always have a very cheerful disposition, won't mind sharing what he has kasi ganon nga siya pinalaki, no? He never believes na mauubusan siya. He will always believe that there is bountiful supply of anything. And usually this happens kapag siya ay anchored on deep faith in a supreme being who is a very good provider, no? Kaya okay lang. So even with the last money that you have, you won't hesitate to share it with somebody in need because you believe, no, that God wants you to empty your hands so that He can put more into it, no? So ganon siya. So as we go on with our discussion, please stay focused on our reflective question. What is a 21st century mindset? So our scope and sequence will be, of course, we are going to tackle the amended basic competencies integrated with 21st century skills. This is as promulgated by TESDA, TESDA board, I should say. Then how it should be implemented. Then the 9 strands of basic competencies. What are the 9 strands? We will see it, no? Then the matrix of basic competencies, no? So as I mentioned a while ago, then the curriculum design and the building blocks of a TVET qualification. What makes up a TVET qualification? What are the building blocks, no? So we will discuss that. Then the delivery of competency-based training. No, this is now the dynamics. No, the interaction of the basic and the common and the core competencies. No, how should they be delivered? Then what is curriculum mapping and how will you do that? Because when you implement the basic competencies integrated with 21st century skills, you should know how to do curriculum mapping. Because there is nobody else. As of now, wala pa itong ginawa. You cannot find this in the TESDA website. You cannot even find this in books yet. In fact, I am tempted to write on curriculum mapping, on integrating how the integration will be done. No. Then preparing a sample curriculum. This will be an individual activity. Then what is constructive alignment? Pag sinabi natin constructive alignment, align ba ang learning outcomes mo with your assessment and with your learning activities? Align ba ang activities sa basic, sa common, and sa core competencies? Yun. These are the things that you should look into. And I will let you experience how to construct a learning activity. So you can try it, no? And then if you have done it, then I encourage you to share it, no? And then para we can interact, no? Okay. So this is the scope and sequence, no, of how our forum will be. What do you call this? If you have questions, then reserve them towards the end. Okay. Let's take up the amended basic competencies integrated with 21st century skills. So you might ask the question, why integrate 21st century skills? Why integrate with the basic competencies? Why will not just leave them on their own? No? Okay, so first thing is, the 21st century skills are 12 abilities that today's students need to succeed in their careers during the information age. So what are these 12 abilities? That is what we will see. Now, these skills are intended to help students keep up with the lightning pace of today's modern markets, of today's industry. Lightning pace. The word is lightning pace. No, everybody moves fast because we have now come to a point where we have conquered time and space. No, before the only way to communicate was to write, then via airmail, then it will take 2 weeks, 3 weeks. No, now but nowadays, after with the age of information and technology, communication, information communication technology, you can compose a text and post it in Facebook, post it in Messenger, then real time it will be received by the other party. Ganun kabilis. No? So how prepared are our trainees? How prepared are our learners? And all the more, how prepared are our trainers, are our learning facilitators? No? So each skill is a unique in how it helps students, but they all have one quality in common. And they are essential in the age of the internet. In fact, we are now in the age of the internet of things. We can program everything. We can simulate everything, no? So even with our food, with our rice cooker, if you are now connected to the internet, then you can just program it and then it will warm your rice, and then after how many minutes it will switch off. Even with the lights, even with the cell phone, your cell phone can be quiet at particular time, from 8 o'clock to 8 o'clock the following day. No rings, no phone calls will what do you call this, will disturb you if you are what do you call this, if you have programmed everything. So it's a matter of programming logic control, no? This is common with electrical installation maintenance, NC4. Everything can be programmed, no? Even the switching on of the light and the switching off of the light, everything can be programmed. So with this, no, our learners need to develop their 21st century skills. So the 21st century skills include, one, critical thinking. So what does it mean to be, when you say critical thinking? Then creativity, then collaboration, then communication, then information literacy, then technology literacy, then flexibility, then leadership, then initiative, then productivity, and then social skills. Now, if you look at this, critical thinking, no, how can he discriminate what is true from what is fake news? Critical thinking yan. How can he discriminate kung totoo ang naririnig niya o hindi o sinungaling? That's critical thinking. How can he reply or how can he respond? Now kapag hindi naturuan ng mga trainees niyan, then if they are poor in critical thinking, then madali silang maabuso, no? So they will never learn to assert, they will never learn to be vigilant, no? Then creativity, creative, no? What can they create out of what they have learned, no? So ako, I am very creative. Whenever I read something, then i-curate ko yan. Then after a few days, I will have something new. Oftentimes, this come out as my posts in Facebook. I read some reflection, one paragraph reflection from a source. Pero after reading that, then I will now write my own reflection from that one paragraph. Gagawa na ako into 5 paragraphs, putting in my experiences now, putting in my thoughts and everything, no? So ganon, curate, no? That's the word, the curate, no? Then collaborate. Can we work together? Okay. I'll do a CBLM. Okay, I'll put it in the Google Drive. I'll share the link to you. Then I'll do parts 1, 2, 3. You do parts 4, 5, 6. Then we come up with our CBLM, no? So you should learn to collaborate. So do you know the many collaboration tools, no? Then communication. How do we articulate? How do we convey information? How do we process? How do we ask and receive information? No, all these things. How do we participate in workplace communication? How do we lead group discussions? All these things. Ito dapat ma-develop ito sa mga learners, sa mga trainees, while they are still in the context of the basic competency. Then information literacy, no? Okay, can they discriminate? Are they literate with what is propaganda and what is true? Then media literacy, no? The different social media, no? Then technology literacy, paano gumamit ng technology? Na mayroon ba siyang email address? Then ano ang communication platform na ginagamit niya? Then flexibility and all these things. So these are the 21st century skills. And this is worldwide. These are the standards, no? Ito sila. Dito naghahanap ang mga employers, nag-i-interview sila and they will say, initiative, no? Paano pag ang learner natin is like a wheelbarrow, no? Pag hindi mo itinulak, hindi mo hinawakan at itinulak, din hindi gagalaw, no? So that's why there is a joke. Saan ka kaya pwedeng bumili ng initiative kahit kalahating kilo lang, no? So that's a common joke we have in the workplace. Pambihira itong taong ito, no? Wala man lang ka-initiative, no? Then productivity, active but not productive. You will see a person busy the whole day doing so many things, but at the end of the day, never been productive. Bakit? Ginawa niya ang lahat ng utos ng iba, ginawa niya, pero yung sarili niyang trabaho ay hindi niya nagawa, no? So active siya but never productive, no? Very tired siya at the end of the day, pero yung lahat ng ginawa niya ay gawain ng ibang kasamahan niya sa workplace. And that should not be. Ako, even in the office, I control, I supervise the support staff kung anong ginagawa nila, no? So when they are being made to do things na dapat ang gumagawa ay ang regular staff, no? I stop it, no? Because you know, the most awkward thing that can happen is kapag mas marunong pa sa trabaho ang JO kaysa regular staff. That is one thing that we should keep watch, no? And then social skills, hindi marunong makisama, hindi marunong cannot work, is not a team player, then may problema siya, no? So, yun. And any learner now, in fact, hindi lang learner, tayo who are now existing in the 21st century should have this. Ikaw, ako, everyone. Now, ang tanong dyan is, alin dito ang wala ka pa? And that is what you have to learn, no? Alam mo, technology literacy. Okay, are you literate with all the technology and the gadgets and everything and the applications, and are you familiar with the Google for education? Are you Google application for education? Google Drive, the use of the Google Classroom, the use of the Google Hangout, the use of the Google Meet, and all these things. And with that, you can make everything easy. No? Kaya tuturo yan sa mga bata as early as ngayon. Yung mga bata ngayon, no. So, kapag ang teacher ay hindi siya familiar, ang tendency is binabagsakan niya ng maraming trabaho ang kanyang mga estudyante virtual, kaya kawawang bata, no. Nata-traumatize, no. Kaya kung pagpapalitin natin, ikaw kaya ang estudyante at siya ang Now, do you think, no? Now, kaya we should take time to learn all these 21st century skills. So, ito siya. Ang 21st century skills, no? There are learning skills, there are literacy skills, and there are life skills, no? This is the context of the basic competencies, no? So, the learning skills, these are the 4 C's, no? Teaches students about the mental processes required to adapt and improve upon a modern work environment. That's a critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, communication. Learning skills yan. So, this is how the 21st century skills are grouped. So, learning skills, no? So, then, another set of 21st century skills is the literacy skills, no? The literacy skills naman, the literacy skills focus on how the learners can discern facts, publish outlets, no, and the technology behind them. So there is a strong focus on determining trustworthy sources and factual information to separate it from the misinformation that floods the internet. Lahat ng both the good and the bad information nasa internet. So kapag ang learners do not have develop their literacy skills, then they will be misled. Maring madaling maniwala sila sa fake news. So, learning skills, literacy skills. On the other hand, life skills, no? Life skills naman, ito, para madaling tandaan is, yung learning skills is 4 C's. Yung literacy skills is IMT, Information Media Technology. And the life skills are FLIPS, flexibility, leadership, initiative, productivity, and social skills. FLIPS. No? So, anong focus ng life skills? These are intangible elements of a learner's everyday life. Kasi hindi mo yung makikita, you cannot see flexibility. But you can feel when somebody is flexible. You cannot see leadership. You cannot touch leadership, no? Then you cannot touch initiative, no? So you cannot touch productivity. But when a person is productive, saan mo makikita yan? Hindi sa ginagawa niya, doon sa outputs niya. And then sa social skills. Yung social skills niya ay hindi mo makikita. Hindi mo yan makikita. You cannot see his kindness. You cannot see his honesty. You cannot see his tolerance. Pero you can see it in his behavior. Sa behavior, ito makikita. Kaya nga life skills ito, no? So these are the reasons, these are the basis bakit na-integrate ang 21st century skills in the basic competencies. No? I'd like to emphasize that. No? Kaya, if you miss the basic competencies, if you fail to develop, ikaw trainer, no? If you fail to develop the basic competencies sa mga learners mo, then that learner will have extreme difficulty in coping with the challenges in the workplace where he will be going. Mahihirapan siya. So, this is where I am making my appeal, my dear trainers, all for the love of our learners, no? Kasi if we don't love our learners, huwag ka nang mag-training, no? Huwag ka nang mag-trainer if you don't love them. If you will only persecute them, if you will only take advantage of them, if you will only harass them, if you will intimidate them, please huwag ka nang mag-trainer. But if we really care for our trainers, katatapos pa lang ng World Teachers Day, if we truly care for them, then we should develop their soft skills. We should develop their 21st century skills, because once we have developed their 21st century skills, they will turn out to be certified workers, trained workers who possess that pleasing personality. Yan sinasabi. With pleasing personality. Hindi maganda. Kasi pleasing person, beautiful is only part of a pleasing personality. Actually, pag sinabing pretty, charming, or whatever, it can be relative, no? Maaring maganda panlabas pero ang pangit sa loob, no? So, but if the 21st century skills, if these soft skills are effectively developed by the trainer among the learners, then you are really doing them a very, very, what do you call this? Giving them a very effective preparation for life. No? In fact, these are what we call the employability skills. Ang core and common competency yon ang employment. No? Because these are the things that they will do in the workplace. Pero employability skills, ito yung magdadala sa kanila sa workplace. Ito yung magpapatanggap sa kanila. Ito yung magiging, these are the traits that they will develop, no? In fact, kaya nga sa outcome-based education, sa higher education, we have what we call the institutional or the graduate attributes. Ano ang characteristics ng graduate mo? So, if you're a training institution, if you're a TBI, you're offering what do you call this? Bread and pastry production NC2. Then, what are the graduate attributes or the characteristics of your graduates? So, sila ay mga bakers na possessed with all the basic competencies, who can make decisions, who have the leadership, who have the initiative, who can discriminate information, who know how to use technology, and all these things. These are the graduate attributes. These are the characteristics of your products. No, and when you do that, you will say, they will be asked by their peers, bakit alam mo yan? Bakit nagagawa mo yan? Oh, then if that student studied in what do you call this school, then you say, kasi doon ako nag-aral sa school. All these things I learned bakit sa school ko hindi ko natutunan yan? Possibly because the trainers did not care about their future. The trainers only cared for what they will make them do, what they will make them perform, without the holistic transformation and development of their learners. So my dear trainers, kaya this is my passion. You know very well, those who had the chance to work with me, those who have from Region 9 to Caraga, in my previous provincial assignments, in my present assignments now, this is one thing, doon sa mga from Region 9, this one thing where you are now missing me. Because when I was still with you, I would always see to it that you are guided, that you understand what you are doing, that you have all the soft skills aside from knowing how to do your job. Because that is my commitment, no? Otherwise, if I cannot do that, then I should not be sitting on my chair as provincial director. That has always been my guiding principle, no? So kaya ganon. If I cannot provide direction, if I cannot provide my constituents the direction, make the directions clear, then I don't deserve to be called a test the director, no? A test the provincial director. Kaya nga, what should a director do? He shepherds, he guides, he enlightens, he shows the way, he leads, and all these things. He mentors, he coaches, and do all these things. And most of all, he strengthens everybody so that they can do their job independently, so that they will become better person. Kaya nga, kahit anong galing ng isang staff ko, pag puro sa human 21st century skills, wala, I don't pick that person, no? But I give chance. Pero after several attempts na hindi mag-cooperate, then I forget that person. Hindi naman ako nang-aaway, no? So, but when I ignore people because I feel they are hopeless, bahala sila sa sarili nila, then they feel hurt, no? But wala na akong magawa, no? Because I have tried many attempts, hindi naman nakinig, and all these things, then saka pa nila ma-realize kapag wala na ako, no? So yun. That is the importance of 21st century skills. Because a lot of trainers ask me, "Sir, bakit pa? Why do we focus on the 21st century skills?" Well, this is the answer, no? And if you truly understand the value of these 21st century skills, then all for the love of your trainees, all for the love of your learners, you're going to go out of your way and make them better persons. Make them, you will show them the way, you will guide them, and then that way is leading to a better life, no? Better status in their lives, no? So ganyan, no? So the question always is, I always ask myself, how did these people whom I have encountered, how was I able to touch their lives? Have their lives become better? In fact, the things that others hate me because of my being meticulous, because of my being stickler for detail, because of my being, what do you call this? My passion for the standards and everything. Pagdating ng panahon, when I'm no longer around, then that's the time they will start looking for me, no? Well, I'm saying that, not for anything, because that is what I have learned now, especially when COVID-19 came. They would tell me, "Sir, mabuti pa kayo dyan kasi you are giving all the directions and everything." In fact, late last night, I received a text message, "Sir, mabuti pa kayo dyan kasi you are providing guidance to your trainers there." But my reply was, kaya nga I'm opening to everybody because I want to share the things that I'm doing. This is on a take it or leave it basis, no? Kaya ganon, no? So, what then is test this policy directive after that? So, test the circular number 97, no? So this is our basis, no? Implementing guidelines on the newly promulgated amended competency standards for basic competencies integrated with 21st century skills. I was surprised in the latest compliance audit I observed that the CBC presented by the auditee, I will not mention where this happened, no? Because I observed a lot of audits in other regions, no? When I have the link, no? I was surprised when I saw the CBC still having the old basic competencies. Apat lang for NC2. Then I asked the PO Focal, have you not implemented the basic competency? Meron naman kaming basic competency, sir. Okay, ilan? Apat, sir. I said, Siyam ba, sir? Apat lang yan. I said, okay, you read test the circular number 97, series of 2019. No? And what is the legal basis? This is test the board resolution number 2019-37, dated July 9, 2019, approving and promulgating the amended competency standards for basic competencies integrated with 21st century skills. So this is promulgated. This is now mandatory, no? So if you are not yet, if you have just, what do you call this? If you have already added this year CBC, very good. But let's now try to see kung tama ba ang ginagawa mo, no? So we are going to look into our practice. Now, so what are the objectives? Why integrate? That is to prepare learners for lifelong learning and enable them to intellectually participate in knowledge generation. That is the 21st century. 21st century is a knowledge generation, and better prepare them for large-scale changes in the workplace, technology, and global market. In fact, I am now coming up with still organizing my thoughts on the fourth industrial revolution. How do we make our trainings responsive to the fourth industrial revolution? No, fourth IR. No, so katulad niya ng basic competencies. Now I am going. Possibly I will be able to share that towards the the middle part of next year, because I'm still in my readings, no, doing my readings. So the second objective, why integrate, is to produce work-ready, globally competitive, green economy workers imbued with 21st century skills, which refers to a broad set of essential skills consisting of knowledge, skills, work habits, and character traits, which are critically important to success in today's world, particularly in contemporary careers and workplaces. So you see, this is, no, these are critically important, no. So, and then they're just being taken for granted. Then the coverage, no. Then the amended competency standards for basic competencies integrated with 21st century skills is a prerequisite for all training delivery for all TVET qualification programs. So this is a prerequisite. Meaning you don't have any option. Talagang i-implement mo ito correctly and properly, no? So these basic competencies with 21st century skills accentuate lifelong learning and career skills, which covers socio-emotional components, as this includes knowledge, skills, and attitudes, especially at this time of the pandemic, when we have to build emotional resilience, no? Build the emotional resilience of our learners. But see to it, ikaw muna, see to it that you are an emotional resilient person, hindi overreactive, hindi desperada, hindi madaling marattle, hindi madaling ma-discourage. But when you're emotionally resilient, you can withstand all tests and challenges in life, no? So these are knowledge, skills, and attitude required when demonstrating self-management. You can manage yourself, you can organize yourself. How organized ka ba sa sarili mo? What is your typical routine in a day? Ako, I'll share this with you. Upon waking up, I wake up usually at 4:30 because I have to prepare for my daily live streaming. Sa morning prayers, maraming sumasabay, no? First thing is fix my bed. Then after fixing my bed, take my blood pressure. After taking my blood pressure, eat one banana. Then drink 2 glasses of water. Then prepare myself for the live streaming. After live streaming, then I'll prepare myself. I'll take shower. Then after shower, I'll take breakfast. Then prepare for work. Then after work, by afternoon, have my afternoon prayer. Then after that, that's my time for my creative thinking, and then go to sleep. That is my typical routine, and that is my self-management, no? Then working in diverse environment. We are now in a diverse environment. Developing, shaping, and sustaining strategic thinking and attitudes toward lifelong learning and career development, no? So ito lahat, especially working in diverse environment. Now, we should be preparing our learners to work in a diverse environment. So how do you do it? What do you give them? How do you prepare them? No, the only thing you can do is you capacitate them. You develop their 21st century skills. So this is the coverage, no? Now, as to the implementation mechanics, no? So this is already included in the competency standards. So meron na itong competency standards. No, I will be sharing with you the competency standards. Then the conduct of national institutional assessment shall integrate the amended basic competencies. Paano gagawin ito ng trainer? Paano niya i-integrate, no? Concurrently with the common and the core competence. Therefore, if the assessment design requires that the basic competencies, the amended basic competencies should be integrated with the common and the core competencies. Therefore, the learning activities should also have that integration. Hindi lang siya mag-i-integrate sa assessment, but they should also be integrated in the learning activities in the training. That's why you have to learn constructive alignment. So, ito ginawa na ito na and so on. So, the NTTA, okay, may mga train na. But as I have said kanina, hindi pa ito masyadong nag-cascade. Mas nag-cascade pa ang FELS, ang Facilitating E-Learning Session. Kaya lang, dapat sana FELS, before na-require ang training sa FELS, dapat ang prerequisite training should be developing e-learning materials. No? So, you went into facilitating, but you have not experienced developing your materials. No? So that is the lacking segment. Kaya ang mga trainer Busan del Sur, I am trying to fill that gap. No, we are going into that. So what is the directive? The regional and provincial offices shall closely monitor the implementation of the amended basic competencies integrated with the 21st century skills as indicated in the circular. So this is the reason why I have done this initiative. I don't have to ask for permission because this is the reason. No, this is my basis. This is my authority, and this circular shall take effect as indicated. When was this? This was indicated. This took effect September 5, 2019. No, and it superseded. That's the circular number 80 of 2017. That's the pilot implementation of the expanded basic competencies integrated with the 21st century skills. Even when I was still in Zamboanga, Sibugay, I was already expanding the CBC to give way to the basic competencies, no? And then when I went to Zamboanga del Sur, I did the same. And now here, now this is now very, very clear. The directive is very explicit, no? The directive is that they should now be monitored. So how can we monitor if we don't know how to? That's why I extended invitation to the OTPRAS focals in the other provinces in the Caraga region, no? So that they will be in the position to monitor the implementation, and even in the evaluation of the CBC at the time that there is an application for program registration, dapat, and even during compliance audit, dapat alam ng trainer paano ito ginagawa. No? So that's why we are having this capability building session, this forum. No? So this was issued by our incumbent, by our present tested Director General, Secretary Sid S. La Peña, no? PhD and CSE. So let's look at the 9 strands now of the basic competencies for the 4 national certification levels and PQF level 5. That's why NC1, NC2, NC3, NC4, and PQF level 5. So 5 levels yan. Down, sakop yan ng TESDA. Although PQF levels 1 and 2 belongs to DepEd, no? Basic education yan. Ang TESDA is 3, 4, 5. But nevertheless, may mga prescribed or allocated basic competencies for each of the certification level and the PQF level. PQF level 5 is the diploma level, is the diploma below, what do you call this? All the diploma programs, I should say, belong to PQF level 5. Okay. So the nine strands, meaning 1, collaboration. there will be collaboration, there will be basic competency, NC1, NC2, NC3, NC4, and PQF5, may collaboration yan. May communication yan. May critical thinking yan. May entrepreneurship yan. May environment literacy. Kaya lang nag-i-spiral siya, no? Ano ang itsura ng collaboration? Ano ang focus ng collaboration sa NC1, sa NC2, NC3, NC4? Ito bawat isa nito. Information technology, learning and innovation, lifelong learning, occupational health. So, itong siyam, occupational health and safety. No? So, this is the matrix. No? So, if you will see, no, sa NC1, communication is respond and ito common ito. This is in the old, no? So NC1 receive and respond to workplace communication. NC2 participate in workplace communication. NC3 lead workplace communication. NC4 utilize specialized communication skill, and PQF level 5 you have managed and sustained communication. So you see, lahat yan communication, no? So all NC level, all programs now at every NC level have this. Kaya nga spiral ito. It cuts across all throughout my communication, all throughout my learning and innovation, all throughout my critical thinking and problem solving. Kaya lang, my point of articulation yan. My point of emphasis yan. Like for example, what is critical thinking sa NC1? That is solve, address routine problems. Now, if you are handling a group of trainees who are enrolled in EIM NC1, then solve, address routine problems among electricians. Solve, address routine problems among welders. Okay. Then solve, ang NC2 is solve, address general workplace problems. As you will see later on the curriculum design, ano-ano ang specifications ng mga ito. Entrepreneurship. NC1 is just support entrepreneurial mindset in the workplace. Okay? So, wag mo nang bigyan niya ng intensive training sa entrep. Kasi sabi, may entrep kasi. So, you teach them break-even analysis, accounting, fundamentals of accounting and everything. NC1 pa yan, no? So, then pag NC2, then contribute to resolving issues and concerns as a stakeholder in the company or business pertaining to usual problems being faced. But this should be in the context now of the TVET qualification. No? As it is now, there are still schools na they teach this on a generalized perspective. Basta, now, what I want to happen in Agusan del Sur is, I want the trainers who will be handling basic competencies to focus their activities on the qualification of the trainees, of the learners, where they are enrolled in. So, when I will do my monitoring, then I am going to ask for your CBLM, your work activities, and then see how your basic competencies are aligned with the common and the core competencies. No? Dapat ang activities mo kapag caregiving ang klase mo should be about caregiving. Dapat ang activities mo sa information technology is about. So present appropriately. So doon sa bread and pastry, present appropriately. Sa nakafocus sa bread and pastry production or sa cookery or sa kuwan. Ang problema is the trainers, kapag wala silang iba ang qualification nila, then halimbawa ang trainer is what do you call this, sa cookery ang NC niya, or beauty care NC2, but she is the one handling the basic competency. Now here comes mga estudyante niya ay ISMAW NC2 trainees or learners, then dapat kahit na cookery siya, then she should look into the TR, the competency standards for ISMAW NC2. Kasi dapat ang ituturo niya, ang gagamitin niya mga examples, ang gagamitin niya mga illustrations doon sa klase niya should not be about generalized terms, but the trainer should use specific examples as relevant to the experience of the trainers, no, to the trainees or the learners, no. So yun. So this is where I am telling you, especially I am addressing the trainers in no. We are starting our journey together today, no. So I will be having follow-up sessions for you, focus on your specific qualifications. In fact, I'm going to have next time uh, another follow-up session to address the concerns of the trainers in Agusan del Sur. No? Aayusin natin yan. No? No. Pagdating sa point na yan, for the other trainers, I feel awkward letting you join. Ngayon, I just allowed you to join because we are I am still talking about general terms, no? General policies, general principles. Pero pagdating sa actual implementation na, I feel awkward discussing this direction because it might not be the direction of your provincial director, no? So, ngayon, okay lang. But in my follow-up discussions, then I will now I will now closely monitor the way basic competencies are implemented by the trainers in Agusan del Sur. No, unless your provincial director will let you join. But still, I feel awkward because your provincial director has his own or her own policies. No, meron din siyang patakaran niya. No, and he cannot be adopting my policies also because that is my policy insofar as those are my policies insofar as being the area manager is concerned. Okay, then the matrix of basic competencies for the 4 NC levels. Okay, so this is it. No, this is the matrix. Communication sa NC1, communication, collaboration, critical thinking, lifelong learning, learning and innovation, information management, occupational health and occupational safety and health, environmental literacy, entrepreneurship. Ito siya. The unit title is yun. For communication, receive and respond to workplace communication. There are 2 elements. For collaboration, there are 2 elements. Work with others ang unit title. For critical thinking and problem solving, there are 2 elements. Now, what are these elements? These elements are the learning outcomes. These are the learning outcomes. The elements become the LO in your CBC. The elements in the TR are the LOs in your CBC. These are the learning outcomes. Kaya itong mga learning outcomes, ito ang point ng alignment. Hahanap kayo sa common or core competency na relevant ito or related. And then, kung saan ito i-introduce. Meaning, it does not mean that this will be introduced sa common or sa core. But, the experiences, the lessons, the content doon sa common at sa core will be integrated doon sa training ng basic competency. Naka-focus siya. No? And that is my policy as the provincial area manager in Agusan del Sur. For the trainers coming from other provinces, I will that is with due respect to your provincial director. Pero at least kung walang definitive policy ang provincial director niyo, then just try it. Then just do it. Then I will still be open for consultation. If you want to consult me, to ask me and ask my opinion, my wisdom, then I will be more than glad to do it for you. Now, NC2. Ito. So, ang siyam. Sa communication, participate in workplace communication. Teamwork, work in a team environment. No? Sa problem solving, solve address general problems, and so on. So, these are the matrix showing. And these are the number of elements. No? So, itong mga elements as I said, na become your learning outcomes, yun ang ihahanap nyo ng entry point when you do your curriculum mapping. Saang entry point? Doon sa common and core competencies. No? So, yun. Element nito, sa halimbawa, obtain and convey workplace information. Saan yan papasok? Relevant ba yan sa common 1, common 2, common 3, common 4? So, kung relevant yan, then I can have tasks related to the LOs also in those particular competencies, common and core competencies. Now, for NC3, ganun din. These are the 9 basic competencies. The number of elements also, no. Uh, I shall be I shall be sharing with you my presentation. So I hope you have signed the attendance sheet, because my staff in the PO, my secretariat, si Roslyn, will email my presentation to you, no, to all of you who are here. So be sure that you have signed the attendance sheet, no. And I will also what do you call this, send to you your e-certificate, no, certificate of attendance, having attended this. You might need this for future purposes. Then NCA 5, actually it's PQF level 5, no. So ito 'yon. Yun. Now, let's look at the curriculum design sa PQF level 5, no. Sa from sa 4 national certification levels and the PQF levels. So let me go to wait. Let me go to the file now. Wait. Okay. So this is the curriculum design page. What is that? Page 222. Okay. I can also share with you the competency standards. These are the competency standards promulgated competence. If you read, these are the amended competency standards for basic competencies integrating 21st century skills promulgated July 9, 2019. No, we got to the start of the curriculum design. $245, 200. Okay. So now in the curriculum design, so for example, receive and respond to workplace communication. These are the 2 learning outcomes. Then these are the activities. Exercise conciseness in receiving clarifying messages, information, communication. So those information should be related to the qualification where they are, no. So practice accuracy in following written oral instruction. So it should be case study in handling written communication. The written communication should be about the qualification. Dili nga hindi naggumawa siya ng kahit anong example na material ang pwede niyang gamitin. It should be related to the qualification where the trainees are enrolled in, no. So you will look at the learning activities, no. These are the things that can be possible. Ito, so if you choose any of these activities, then read job description and organization's policies relevant to work role. Kung SMAW NC1 yan, then dapat ang job description ng welder, ang organization of policies of a welding company, and the relevant to work role, then yun ang gagamitin. So if you're handling basic communications for 5 groups of, kasi basic ka lang, then you should be equipped with the 5 sets of CBLM on the same set of basic competencies. Communication for SMAW, for those enrolled for shielded metal arc welding NC1. Communication for EIM NC2. Communication for what do you call this? Cookery NC2. Communication for, now each one of them will have a different focus. Kaya dito I am suggesting the trainer should collaborate, no? Kaya ako when I was brainstorming with my staff, primero ang reaction, the first reaction was, sir, makabuang na siya, sir. Well, I said, tinuod. because you will now have, you have no choice, but you have to give dignity to the qualification. No. So the example that you will use should be related, specific, relevant to that qualification. No. So you cannot just use a general example. No. Especially if one is at NC1. If one at NC2, okay pa pag NC3, NC4, PQF5. But still, they will not see. No? Especially pagdating sa basic competency na, okay, let me see. Ito, nakita ko. Enterprise quality, occupational health and safety. Iba ang occupational health and safety, iba ang risk and hazard sa carpentry NC2, sa cookery NC2, sa, now, pag pinagsama-sama mo yan, you just use general terms, that's why we never develop them fairly. So, you can just go around, pag nag-mapping ka na, no, you can, I also share this in the chat box later on before we'll have our lunch break. So these are this is until the last page, page 311, no, up to PQF level 5. Okay, then tapos na tayo sa matrix of basic competencies. So ito, no? So look at the learning activities. And then itong learning activity, diyan na ipapasok ang core and common content activity sa core competency, specific activity. Although hindi pa nila gagawin 'yan. It is just highly theoretical, no? Or you may have some hands-on activity, but just to give them a feel. Halimbawa, when I was conducting a training, I was a trainer. I was handling practice occupational health and safety standards. I was still the vocational school superintendent in Balicuatro College of Arts and Trades in Northern Samar. I was a superintendent, but I was handling training. I trained in occupational health and safety and in practice of good housekeeping, 5S, no? So ito sa risks and hazards. So I had a group of BWI pa noon, building wiring installation NC2, hindi pa EIM. Okay, we never talk about risks and hazards in the classroom. So I just explained to them what are risks, what are hazards. After explaining to them the definition, then I told them, go out and identify all the risks and hazards that you can find related to all electrical connections and electricity. So they will make the record in their notebook and so on. Then that's enough. The moment they reach the core competency, I let them go to the hazards they have identified. Aayusin nila. And that is their practice in the core and common competencies. Okay. Risks and hazards for plumbing. Okay. Iikot sila sa buong school. Alin ang mga sirang tubo, alin ang mga sirang pipes, alin ang mga sirang connections, plumbing course. Ino-note nila yan, mamarkahan nila yan. When they reach the core competency, babalikan nila yan. And they will now fix. That's why I cannot understand a school na nag-offer ng plumbing pero may mga sirang mga sirang pipes at sirang connections. I cannot understand a school offering carpentry na maraming sirang bintana, maraming sirang upuan, maraming sirang mesa and everything, no? Kasi sa carpentry, I let them go around. Identify the things that need to be repaired. Pagdating sa core competencies, then babalikan nila yon. After the training, maayos ang school, no? Even I let them carry over the training at home. So after doing that in school, then I also let them identify the risks and hazards at home. Isusulat nila yan. And once they take their, what do you call this? Their core competencies, then they will now fix them. Even sa 5S, kung saan ang magulo na bahagi ng school, ng campus, then I do the 5S training there. After 6 hours, maayos na yan, no? So this is how we align our basic and common and core competencies. That's why we are talking about this now. This has become mandatory by September 2019. But mind you, I was already practicing this for the past 14 years. No, when I was new in TESDA, I came into TESDA as vocational school superintendent. No, so ganon. No, so I said there is nothing new in the new normal. Kasi yung mga itinuturo natin sa new normal are still the same things that we used to teach. Iba lang ang platform, iba lang ang delivery, no? So this is where your technology, information technology, and your technological knowledge, you will need your technological knowledge. So ganon, no? So I'll share this with you, no? Itong competency standards, and later on a copy of my presentation. I'll upload them sa chat box. And then ang hindi makapag-upload dahil nakikinig sila sa live stream, they are watching sa live stream, then my staff, be sure that you have signed the attendance sheet. I hope Rosalyn, paki-upload sa comment ang attendance sheet dito sa Facebook. Then, what are the building blocks of a TVET qualification? No, this what makes up a TVET qualification? Like SMAU NC2, SMAU NC1, Carpentry NC2, Plumbing NC2, Bread and Pastry Production NC2, Dressmaking NC2, and all the qualifications. Events Management NC3. No? What make up a TVET qualification? So ito yon. A TVET qualification has basic competencies, it has common competencies, it has core competencies, and meron pang elective competencies. But this is not so much practiced. Yung iba nag-elective competencies sila. Like for example, bread and pastry, lalagyan na lang driving. Housekeeping, lalagyan na lang driving. What do you call this? Automotive servicing, lalagyan niya ng certain units of competency sa refrigeration and air conditioning. Cookery, lalagyan nila ng other related competencies or enhancing competencies. Pwede yan, no? So, but the focus is sa basic, common, and core competencies. These are the building blocks of a TVET qualification, no? These are the requirements. Kaya pag nag-assessment, dapat mag-demonstrate ang learner ng competent performance in all these building blocks, in the basic competencies, in the common competencies, and in the core competencies. So, how is competency-based training delivered? No? So, how is it delivered? Okay, this is the way we are doing it now. So, linear. Okay? So, si basic muna. Before, 18 hours lang yan. Basic competencies lahat. But now, nagkakaiba-iba na for mga 1 week na, 48 hours for the 9 basic competencies. Depende sa qualification. Then, kakatapos yan, papasok sa common. Then, papasok sa core. So, that's a linear journey. It's a line, no? Line. Linear. So, ang nagturo ng basic ay walang connection sa core. Kasi nagturo sa basic is an NC holder, NTTC holder in beauty care. No? Kasi nag-retool lang siya. Or housekeeping NC2. Kasi nag-retool lang siya. Kasi usually this is the divide in TVI. May mga trainers na ingon pa nila cultural or basic competencies. Then may mga trainers na core competencies. Then para sa tubig at langis na hindi pwede maghalo, no? So but no, So the trainers in basic competencies, they conduct their training, develop the CBLM, and mindful of what will be taken in the core competencies. Funnier pa, mas nakakatawa pa, nagsama-sama sila sa isang klase, may EIM, may carpentry, may plumbing, and so on. Then they go as far as 40 or whatever. Pero hindi sana dapat ito nangyayari because especially sa scholarships, pag sinabing SMAW Institute, 25 yan or 20 yan. So yun dapat ang magsisimula sa basic competencies. So ang dapat ang activities nila, although the principles, the topics are generic, but pagdating sa particular focus, then dapat focus siya doon sa core competencies. Kaya what is now what should be the commitment of the trainers that are not handling core competencies? Pag-aralan nyo ang core competencies ng mga estudyante ninyo. No? So, you have better still, mag-training kayo. So, you are handling school ninyo, you have carpentry, plumbing, mga construction trades. Then, participate in activities. You just don't interview the other trainer. Ikaw mag-participate, get the feel of it, get the experience para you can develop the activity, no? So that you will have your direct experience, empirical experience, and then you will be in the best position to develop your learning activities in your basic competencies that you handle. No, so you say, I am now in unit number 7. Okay, I am now in unit number 8. No, I just don't know kung i-connect mo yan doon sa core competency ng qualification ng mga trainees mo. If you did it, very good. Alam mo. But if you just give them generic examples, then please start considering a shift in your thinking now. Pag-aralan mo na ang competencies, ang core competencies, even common competencies ng qualification ng mga estudyante mo, no? Okay. Kaya nga kapag ibang department ang yung iba sinasabi related subjects department, no? Well, that was the traditional before, nasa DepEd pa, no? May vocational department, related subjects department, no? Now, kaya if kung marami kayo, then dapat mayroong nakafocus sa construction sector, may nakafocus sa tourism sector, may nakafocus sa para they will practically have the same experiences, especially if you are handling UAQT scholarship sa diploma. Now your students will go from one qualification to another qualification in that particular sector. So okay lang yan. Your materials can cover a lot of qualifications. So when you have your trainings sa single qualification lang, then yung relevant qualification lang ang gawin mo. No? So I hope the trainers who are listening, when I start my monitoring either virtually or physically, no, kapag you receive a link from me na I'd like to interact with you, I'd like to talk to you about your basic competencies, then alam mo nang isasagot mo sa akin, no? So, what are your examples? So, example, you are a trainer then can you tell me, I may not look into your CBLM. Hindi ako magbabasa ng CBLM. I will just ask you, ano ang activity sa communication? Ano activities mo? Now, you are handling a group of organic agri-production NC2, or you're handling a group of agri-crop production NC3. Ano ang occupational health and safety activities mo sa training mo? If you are handling the basic competencies, no, it's enough. So for 2021, I will just limit myself on interactions. Malaman ko lang na may ginagawa ang trainers na. Siguro by 2022, God willing, pag binigyan pa tayo ng buhay, no, by 2022, I will be looking into now the learning materials. So I will give you time. In fact, ang learning materials dapat, it should be e-learning materials, naka-digitized and so on. Then, dapat nasa loob yan ng LMS. No? So that will be for 2022. That will be my focus for 2022. Sa 2021, it's just storytelling lang tayo. And expect, all the trainers in Agusan del Sur expect to receive a link from me. And then I will schedule, then we will have this meeting. It's just like I visited you, no? Then, okay, then, kwento lang, anong ginagawa mo, what are your activities? Now, you cannot, what do you call this? You cannot bluff me because I know the basic competencies. So, anong ginagawa mo? Okay, paano ang activity mo? Describe to me. So, how do you present it? Then, ano ang practice activities mo? Then, ano ang feedback? That is following the structure of the session plan. No? Now, I know, mga trainers in Agusan del Sur, you might not feel comfortable with this plan, but I tell you, if you make it with me, you will make it with anybody else. No, that has always been the experience of the trainers who went through me. No, who passed through my mentorship, my mentoring. No, pag sinabi kong magaling kang trainer, then you are really magaling. Pag sinabi kong you still have to grow, learn more, then you really have to grow and learn more. Pag ayaw mo matuto, ayaw mo mag-spend efforts, then I'll drop you, I'm going to leave you behind. Ayaw mo naman makisabay, no? Hindi naman kita pwedeng pagalitin, hindi kita pwedeng awayin, no? Because I'm not the one feeding you, no? So I'll just leave you behind, no? Then my impression will just be he is the trainer who does not want to grow or does not want to learn and grow. So wala akong maaasahan diyan, no? But if you are a trainer who is very interested to learn, and then you can interact with me anytime you want, and we will always learn together. No, so yun. Now that is linear. Now on the other hand, spiral. Ito ngayon. With the 9, actually there are 45 basic competencies because there are 5 levels covered. No, so there are 5 levels covered. So the core. So if you will see here, ang core is nasa loob ng basic. Ang kaya yung mga pinag-uusapan sa core, yung mga gagawin sa core, dapat na encounter na ng mga bata sa basic level pa lang. Now remember that the circle for the core competency is not outside of the blue circle. Take note of this illustration. Yung mga activities mo sa common competencies ay nasa loob ng basic competencies. Because the basic competencies are the tools, learning tools of the learners, of the trainees, so that they will learn better in the common and in the core competencies. Communication, i-introduce yung mga terminologies, i-introduce yung mga concepts sa basic competencies. Kaya pagdating nila sa core, pagdating nila sa common, familiar na sila sa mga terminologies na yan. It's not na doon pa lang i-explain ng trainer sa core ang mga terminologies. Doon pa lang i-explain ng trainer ang paano mag-operate ng oven. Now, paano yan? You mean sa basic mag-operate na sila ng oven? No. Kaya lang, magbabasa na sila, may operation sheet siya, may other activities is na babasahin, information sheet. So, how to operate an oven. Yan. What do you call this? Vicarious learning, virtual learning. Hindi niya gagawin. Kaya lang, he is now getting an idea of how. So, pagdating niya sa common, pagdating niya sa core, ito yung sinasabi ni ma'am noon sa basic competencies namin. Ito, nabasa ko ito. Then we discuss this. Paano ito gawin? Paano i-operate ang washing machine? Now, you have a selection. You have an information sheet. How to operate competencies. Pagdating niya sa common at pagdating niya sa core, nabasa na niya yan, na-internalize na yan dahil may comprehension questions ka, then, ang kailangan na lang niya ngayon sa common is the hands-on. Better pa nga, you coordinate with the trainer pero kung ikaw pa rin ang trainer sa common and sa core, then you can give them hands-on activity, but not yet the real training activity. Kaya, madaling gawin ang training sa core at saka common kapag well-established ang foundation sa basic competencies. So, I hope you see my point, no? Now, this is a spiral method. This is a spiral approach, no? Well, I am emphasizing this, no? I am talking to you not as a director, but I'm talking to you as a curriculum specialist. I am a curriculum specialist. I develop curriculum. I develop curricular programs. I design curricular programs, no? I design training programs, no? Sa ano. So, I am giving you this expert opinion, no? Ito, I will put my stake in this. I am very sure of what I'm telling you, no? Sa ano, because of my almost 4 decades of experience doing all these things, no? Sa ano. So, this is the situation. Kaya ito ang basic. I hope the picture of the basic competencies, how you are going to deliver it, is maliwanag sa isip mo ngayon. So, you may not yet do a curriculum alignment. You may not maaaring hindi ka pa gumawa ng curriculum map. At least man lang simulan mo na ngayon na if you're handling a group of SMAW NC1 students, ang gamitin mo ng examples, ang gamitin mo ng situations pertaining to their activities in the core competencies. Magbasa ka na ng TR ng core competencies doon sa qualification nila. At least ma-encounter nila yan, no? So, pag nagtagpo sila sa core competencies, they will say, nabasa ko na ito. Alam ko na paano ito, and so on. Alam ko na ang precautionary measures. Alam ko na kung anong dapat ingatan dito pagdating dito. Kasi yun ang na-take up mo sa occupational health, occupational safety and health, the basic competency. Alam ko na kung anong gagawin ko dito para makapagnegosyo ako. Alam na ng mga bata yan because that is how that is what you taught them in entrepreneurship, no? Say, doon sa entrepreneurship, you can expose them to the different welding products, a flower holder, pinagawa mo, pinadrawing mo, pinaklippings mo, pinagawa mo ng scrapbook, you are sa basic pa. Pagdating naman sa core, na they will not perform, so they will not just be doing all these things na without, so gagawa sila ngayon ng kanilang output or project. No? So, kung anong project na gagawin nila, they have a lot of choices in their mind kasi ibinigay yan sa basic competencies. No? So, ganon ang interrelationship. Then, anong pagkakaiba ng basic, common, and core competencies? Sa common, ang basic is applicable to all programs in the same NC level. So, lahat ng NC1 programs will have the same basic competencies. Ang lahat ng NC2 programs will have the same basic competencies. Ang lahat ng NC3 will have the same basic competencies. Pagdating naman sa core, that's the sector. Cookery, food and beverage services, events management, bartending, and so on. Pare-pareho yan ng core competencies. No? Pero pagdating sa core, mag-i-specialize, magkakaiba-iba na yan, no? Sa ano. That's why these are called as building blocks of a TVET qualification, no? Building blocks. All of this, the basic, the common, and the core competencies make up the TVET qualification, no? Okay. Then let's now go to curriculum mapping. I think we are now on the second topic, because after we reach the point that you will do your curriculum map, we are going to have lunch break, and then we will be back at 1:30. No. This curriculum mapping as used in this undertaking, meaning dito sa ginagawa natin, no? Because curriculum mapping is a common terminology sa higher education. Hiniram ko ito, no? I borrowed this. In fact, I changed some concepts, no? So, as used the basic competencies with the common and the core competencies. Yun ang ano ko operational term, no? Because some may say, that is not curriculum mapping in higher education. No? No, we are not talking about that. ang pinag-uusapan natin dito is curriculum mapping insofar as the alignment of the basic and the common and the core competencies. This is a situation of transfer skills. I'm transferring the concept to this application, and there is no prohibition to that effect. Pwedeng gawin yan, no? We borrow, no? We borrow concept and make them work at our own levels. So, curriculum mapping is the process of associating learning outcomes of basic competencies, so yung LO sa basic competencies, with the learning outcomes of common and core competencies, and aligning relevant or related elements to ensure that they are structured in a strategic, thoughtful way that enhances the learning of learners. Hindi yan na LO to LO, hindi. Anong LO sa basic competency ang pwedeng pumasok sa isang common competency, unit of common competency? Sa isang sa common competency or sa basic competency, saan siya applicable? Yun ang point ng mapping, no? Because a curriculum map for a TVET qualification is structured with the learning outcomes of the basic competencies along one axis and the units of competency and core competencies along the other axis. I'll show this later in the next few slides. So, at the cross section of each line, consider a cell in Excel, no? My row, my column. Then where they intersect, that's the cell, no? The unit would note whether or not that the LO of a particular basic competency is addressed in that unit of common or core competency, and use an alpha code to indicate the level of development of the outcome within that unit of competency. What is that alpha code? It's either an I, letter D, or letter P, no? So those who have developed here in ASAT or in other, if you have developed your curriculum, your diploma curriculum, you know what I am is exactly talking about, no? Where I represent as what do you call this? Introduced, then where D is developed and P is proficient, no? So yun, alpha to indicate the level of development of competency, no? So it is important to understand that specific learning outcomes of the basic competency should be addressed only in appropriate, relevant, or related unit of common and core competencies. You don't expect na ipapasok mo lahat yan sa common and core competencies. No. You will identify wherever they are available, not in all competencies. Because the other units of basic competencies, papasok din siya doon sa ibang units of common and core competencies, no? So, the curriculum map shall show the learning outcomes of basic competencies in the context of the common and the core competence of TVET qualification. Let's look at this, no? So, ito siya, no? Maliit. Okay, so here it is. This is the curriculum map for a TVET qualification. Say welding, then your trainer, no? Say these are the basic competencies. Then what's the competency title? You put it here. Then the LO. Then itong particular LO, saan siya pwedeng relevant or saan siya related? Is it common unit of competency 1, unit of competency 2, unit of competency 3? So, saan mo ito siya i-introduce? At saan mo siya i-develop? At saan ito dapat ma-demonstrate proficiently ng learner? So, ihahanap mo siya. So, I can be here, D can be here, and then P can be here, no? So, you do that process. So, you mean hihintayin mo para magpunta siya doon? No. In that particular LO, ang gagamitin mong material is coming from this unit of competency, no? For introduction. Then in the next succeeding material, sa development naman, then itong gagamitin mo. So you will use a material here. So titingnan mo rin ang LO doon. Titingnan mo rin ang element doon which are aligned ang madugong bahagi ng alignment, because when you do your curriculum map, that's why for the purpose of this activity, I just want you to try one unit of basic competency with the elements, and then try to identify the unit of competency for the common and for the core competencies of your TVET qualification. If you are not a trainer, then you cannot relate with this because you are not familiar with the competency standards. But if you are a trainer, then subukan mo. And then try mo, i-share, i-discuss, I'll give my comments. No? You take advantage of the opportunity while you are still in this session. So, yun. Then collaboration, may elements siya, then and so on. Then critical thinking. No? This is just estimated. You can still add more rows, no? Then lifelong learning, learning and innovation, information management, occupational safety and health, environmental literacy, and entrepreneurship. Then these are the LOs, and then ipapasok mo yan doon. That is your alignment. Once you have your curriculum map, then it will be easy for you to integrate activities in your CBLM. No, your CBC will still be the same, generic. Pero pagdating sa what do you call this? Sa mga actual situations na gagamitin mo sa CBLM doon. Then your information sheet, kukuha ka na ng information sheet coming from that unit of competency na where you identified as relevant and related. So you will now notice sa basic competency mo sa CBLM mo, hindi mo na pwedeng pagsamahin ang CBL ang intended for your SMAU learners for your EIM learners, no? Matrabaho ito. But I tell you, ito ang dapat gawin. That's why I am going to go into collaborative activities. So lahat ng trainers sa EIM, pagsasama-samahin ko yan. Ako yan. Then yung trainers sa SMAU, pagsasama-samahin ko rin yan. And then we are going to do follow-up activities. My timetable for this is the whole year of 2021. But as of this time, sana maayos lang ang curriculum map at saka sana maayos lang ang presentation ng basic competencies. Simulan na ang pagbigay ng focus on the qualification of the learners that you're handling. So if you're handling kukiri, then kukiri ang gamitin mong example sa basic competencies mo. If you're handling if ang learners mo ay construction painting, then construction painting nang gamitin mong examples sa basic competencies. This is your curriculum map will guide you, no? Will guide you, no? Sa activities mo in developing your learning material. That's why in my previous post sa Facebook I said after this I can foresee, no, you may find yourself discouraged na baguhin ako tanan, babaguhin ko ba lahat ang mga CBLMs ko? Well, you know the answer. You know the answer, no? So we are going to what do you call this? At least what I am trying to achieve here in Agusan del Sur is the basic competencies are aligned with the core competencies. That is my target. I will do that for the year 2021, God willing. That we are going to do. Para sa 2022, take off lahat yan. Nasa LMS pa yan, no? So we are going to have the LMS for every basic competency, no? So because once you have your LMS, then your work becomes lighter, because you can just drive your learners to your LMS and let them do self-paced learning while they are in the LMS, no? So this is the idea of a curriculum map, no? So this is the curriculum. Yung sa diploma programs, ang nakalagay dito sa taas sa common and core competencies are the 17 program learning outcomes yan, nakalagay yan, 17. So I just borrowed that concept, no? So dito naman inilagay ko is the common and the core competencies. Pagdating sa core competencies, you notice may mga qualifications na may COC. Kaya nilagay ko lang COC1, COC2. Pero pag walang COC, then you can just have. No? So you can try this on your during your free time or whenever you have the time. And you should have the time, no? Because if we are truly committed and dedicated to our work, then we always have the time for everything, no? Like my case, no? I have this time for you, no? Because this is my commitment as test the director, as area manager. I should capacitate the trainers, no? Now, kaya lang, I open it to anybody who likes to join us, no? Because the things that we'll be doing, the things that we'll be talking here in Agusan del Sur are the things that you want to learn from your areas. So why not share them with you, no? So if you find this are not applicable in your area, then forget about it. Anyway, just the same, I appreciate your coming and I appreciate your partaking in this endeavor. At least in a way or the other, I was able to connect with your life. And if you find the things we have talked about here useful in this forum, then thanks be to God, at least may naibahagi ako sa iyo sa buhay mo. I was able to share something with you. And I have been true to my faith. I have been true to my what do you call this? Yeah, I made my faith alive. No? So share. That's why I open. Ang iba nagte-text, sir, pwede kami mag-attend. Of course, why not? Anybody is free to attend, no? Now, because what we will be talking here are things of standard in nature. Ito pinag-uusapan sa TESDA. Ito maaaring hindi pa ito pinag-uusapan ngayon, but I tell you, in the next 4 to 5 years from now, pag umabot ng 6 years, retired na ako because I will be 65 by then. But that is when you will say, oh, we talked about that with Director Guillermo 5 years ago. Like when I was discussing here, when I was what do you call this? Teaching the ASAT trainers on rubrics and occupational interest profiler development. I was telling them, I gave this in Kabasalan Institute of Technology way back 2011. When I was still the provincial director of Zamboanga Sibugay, we were talking about rubrics. We're talking about generative assessment. At yun ang pinag-uusapan pala ngayon. No? So, kaya nga I have a lot of materials to be used here because binabalikan ko lang yung mga ginawa ko in my previous years of assignments. Even I have materials na I used them when I was still a principal. Until now, I have my materials with me. Pagdating sa reading, pagdating sa pages. Kasi we have to understand that kahit na trainer ka sa technical education, trainer ka sa Tibet, you will still follow the universal laws of learning, the principles of learning, the methods of teaching, and all these things. You cannot have a different way of teaching because the principles of teaching, the methods of teaching, the approaches of training are universal. Whether you're American, whether you're Japanese or whatever, pare-pareho yan. And the psychological principle, the philosophical principles of teaching, the foundations, all of these things, kana mga idealism, essentialism, existentialism, and all those things, deductive, inductive, transductive, and all this interactive, whatever, they are learned first in the basic education, even in the college of education. But I tell you, when you are a teacher and you go to technical education, you will find what you have learned in basic education is still applicable. That's what happened to me. Kaya, even in testing, even in item analysis, even in assessment, no? That's why I'm very keen in assessment, in measurement. No? Tinuturo ko pa how to measure the intangibles, how to measure the attitudes, how to measure the interest, and all these things. I did not learn this in TESDA. I learned this when I was a principal. I learned this when I was a teacher. So these are the things that I'm bringing into my work now, no? And I'm sharing this with you, no? Because siguro hindi naman sa, this is not na ano, pagmamayabang or whatever. I have to look, I have not yet met a provincial director who had the same experience that I went through. Well, the other directors, engineers or whatever, I also don't have what they had, what they went through. But insofar as training delivery is concerned, one who is an educator, one who is an educational practitioner will always find his way, can navigate the learning environment, can navigate an assessment situation. Yun lang ang what makes me strong and confident. Kaya nga I unselfishly share this everything, no? I can talk for even for a week giving lecture on all these things, no? Because this is I'm talking from my own experiences. So ito curriculum map, no? You try this. Now, of course, don't look at my level now, because before I could talk competently about these things, I spent more than 30 years to learn all these things. So ikaw din, you have to spend those number of years to refine yourself, to fine-tune yourself, and to do all these things. The most important thing is you will have that willingness and the drive to try them and to pilot them and to discover a lot of things, because that is the only way how you will truly become competent in your own area. No? So yun lang, no? By the time you will reach my age, by the time you will reach 59 years old, then you can even be better than me. No? Why? Because in my time, nobody guided me as what I am guiding you now. No? Siguro if I had somebody guiding me, then I could be better than I am, no? Pero I was fending my way forward, no? Ayan, sinasabi ko, it took me 7 years to finish my college studies kasi umabot ako sa Manila, Danao, sa Bukidnon where I finished, because I have to look for opportunities, no? Because that was my way of helping our family, because we were 5, no? So I have to take care of myself. But after I have finished and graduated, I went back to my family, and then I became what do you call this? A significant part of the family. Kasi ganun eh. Once you achieve good things in life, you go back to your family, because that is the ultimate foundation of your life. Babalik ka rin doon, no? So ganun, no? So that's the map, no? So it shows the learning outcomes of basic competence in the context of the common and the core competencies. Ito lang yung gusto kong mangyari, my dear trainers in Agusan del Sur. No, I'm addressing this to the trainers who are attending now, trainers from Agusan del Sur. Sana contextualize sa common and core ang activities mo sa basic competencies. Yun lang. Paano mo gagawin yan? Paano mo contextualize yan? Gawa ka ng map, curriculum map. Simulan mo nang gawin. If there are 2-3 trainers in Kukiri NC2 or in Smau NC2, then magsama-sama kayo. And then prepare the curriculum map, no? And then the core, those who are handling core only, you assist the trainers who are handling the basic competencies. You can suggest to them activities na yung mga activities na nahihirapan ang mga bata pagdating sa core. So, ipahasa mo na yan, ipa-expose mo na yan sa basic pa lang, no? So, kailangan may dialogue ang basic trainers at saka core trainers, no? Pero kung if you are the trainer alone, lahat, you are in a private TVI, sa'yo lahat, then you have no choice, no? What do you call this? You will have to contextualize the basic competencies. So pag-aaralan mo, madali na dahil ikaw rin ang gumagawa ng core competencies. Ikaw rin ang handle ng training. So madaling gawin 'yan, no? So kung nahihirapan ka, you ask other trainers. Ang palaging request ko lang naman is kung ikaw ang medyo nakakaalam, you guide. Kung ikaw ang may alam na sagot, i-share mo yung sagot. I-share mo na ano. Ako like my case, I don't need to be asked. I volunteer. O gusto mo? Oh, ito, you like this? I'll talk about it. I'll give you a lecture on this. No? And that is free. No? Ayun na lang pangutan. Huwag ka na magtanong kung magkano ang honorarium ko, because baka mahal, but I don't I never demand, I never ask for payment because I got all these things for free, so I should give them freely also, no? So, yun. That's the curriculum map, no? So, in the curriculum map, in the sample, you write I, where you were, okay, ito. Dito, ilagay mo dito I, kung dito siya, I. Okay. Then, ilagay mo siya dito, okay, then, ito, dito mo siya, develop dito. Okay. D. Then, dito is, dapat proficient na siya dyan. That is assuming. So, ito. So, I, meaning introduce. The learning outcome of a basic competency is explicitly introduced in this unit of core competency. Ini-introduce pa lang siya. And teaching and learning activities focus on basic concepts and skills with entry-level complexity. Hindi masyadong mahirap. Entry-level lang, pang-beginners, no? Then, ang next indicator mo is D. So the learning outcome of a basic competency is explicitly developed or reinforced. So more on activities, more on what do you call this? Hands-on, practicum, no? Reinforced in this unit of common or core competency. Now, you might ask me, so kailangan ba pupunta kami sa common or core? No. You can borrow the activity in that core competency and then let them learn it. Just theoretically. If you can have some hands-on activity, then you can expose them. You may not let them perform, but you may let them watch the other trainees, the other learners who are in that particular competency. No? So ganun. Because they will also have their time when they will have their training. This is what we call in learning, in knowledge, the schema theory of learning. What is the schema theory of learning? The schema theory of learning is the representation of knowledge in the mind. So anything that is not represented in our mind, we will not be able to recognize them or to identify them. Kaya nga, ang lahat ng bagay sa mundo ay may labels. No? May labels yan. Kung hindi mo alam ang label, dahil wala pang nagturo sa'yo. No? So everything. So that's why hangga't wala yan sa mind ng estudyante, ng learner, ang label na yan, then the retrieve that from his mind, no? So for example, how do you compensate the absence of labels? Then you can simulate. You can let them watch videos sa YouTube. You can let them watch demonstration. Then, wag mong ipa-perform dahil nasa basic pa lang. Now, what if they like to perform? Then let them just try. But you don't what do you call this? You don't evaluate their behavior. Just let them experience it. Just let them, this is what you call appreciation activities. No? You should have appreciation activities. Kaya nga ang mga high school, ang ginagawa ng ibang mga high school, they request for open house activities sa mga textbook institution. So they visit the school and then they watch, then may nagde-demo ng paggawa ng cake, then they watch it, then some especially this is common with kids, with elementary pupils. Then they will say, "Can I try?" Okay. Then you let them bake the cake, then you teach them, you give them, then just let them go through the experience for the fun of it. Let them go through the experience for appreciation na alam kong gawin yan. Now, the moment they will enjoy the experience, then they will look forward to that experience, to that kind of experience when they will reach the core competency. This will still go down to the three fundamental laws of learning. The law of readiness, the law of exercise, the law of effect, the law of readiness, the law of effect, and the law of exercise. No, law of readiness is when the learner is ready to learn, learning something is enjoyable, is fun, and when the learner, so that's the law of effect. No, so kapag ang effect ng learning niya is negative, then the learner will not want to do it again. That's why the trainer, the learning facilitator, the learning manager should, as far as possible, make his activities be very, very interesting na para bang naglalaro lang sila. No? So, yun. That's the law of effect. Then, law of exercise. When the learner is given time to practice, then he acquires mastery. That's the law of exercise, no? So, sa law of readiness, law of effect, and law of exercise, no? So, yung tatlo. Kaya pag hindi pa ready ang mga bata, kaya pagdating sa core, nahihirapan because they are not ready. It's the first time that they meet the learning situation. Kaya dapat sa basic, inintroduce na yan, no? Doon sa ano. So, in the sa 9 basic competencies, walang hindi pwedeng hindi ma-introduce sa core competencies. They will all be introduced. It's a matter of aligning them. It's a matter of mapping them, no? Kaya subukan nyo, no? Kaya pag nagpunta yan sila sa core, ang bilis ng turuan, hindi na kailangan ng lecture. The trainer, the learning manager, the learning facilitator will just simply give them the activities, no? Now, sasabihin, you're asking the question. In fact, ang iba ngayon, ang tanong sa isip nyo, na ma-pick up ko lang by vibration. What about at this time na virtual? What about this time na online? Yes, you can still simulate. You can still use video materials. You can still, ang dami sa YouTube ng mga how-to. You can let them watch. Then, kapag may gamit sila sa bahay, then you can let them try. Then, ipa-video mo yung ginagawa nila. Then, ipa-upload mo sa'yo. I-share sa'yo. Then, you will see. Pagdating nila sa core, they will be different kinds of learners. Prepared yan. No? Then, ang orientation niya, attitude-wise, positive ang attitude. No? Positive ang attitude, hindi negative. Then, ang interest niya, very much interested. Because, bakit ang learners hindi sila interested? Bakit ang learners nagda-drop sila? Because they cannot relate with the activity. Pero pag nakaka-relate ang bata, ang learner sa activities, they will love doing it and doing it and doing it over and over again. So, how can you best make provision for this? Start it with the basic competencies. Then, introduce it properly. Then, develop it. Then, you reach the level of proficiency. Make them proficient. Sabi pa, you bring them to a level of automaticity. No? Level of automaticity. The highest degree of automaticity. They can do things effortlessly, walang kahirap-hirap, quickly, mabilis. Kaya nga kasi sa competency assessment, national assessment, time is a measure. So they should be able to do, say, mag-fold ng napkins, 24 types of napkin folding in 5 minutes. They should be able to do that, no? Or they should be able to prepare what do you call this, chiffon cake na mirang in what do you call this, in space na perfect ang output niya sa ano. Now, they can only do these things when they have understood the process, when they have theoretically understood these activities, no? So na-introduce yan. Kaya pagdating nila sa core, hindi sila strangers. May idea sila niyan, no? May idea sila. Ang kulang na lang is the hands-on activity, no? So, kaya nga I allowed now, okay, do your trainings. Lahat mo na online. Pag nagbaba ng quarantine level, then ubusin nyo naman ang learning activities. Just sustain them. Just continue to motivate them. In fact, get a lot of YouTube materials, video materials from YouTube. Download them, put them in your LMS, no? Okay. So ganon siya sa curriculum map, no? So for your activity, we are just on track, no? So this will be our last what do you call this? we will end our session here for lunch break. So try to prepare a sample curriculum map. I am going to upload sa chat box the template, no? So far because for this afternoon we'll resume. I will be glad to see at least one or two sample curriculum map. Only one basic competency, and then situate them in one common or in one core, no? Sa ano. And then identify mo saan siya i-introduce, saan siya i-develop, saan siya proficient na. Or wag, kung hindi mo makaya yan, then just put an X kung saan yan siya applicable, no? Sa basic sa common and core. That particular isang basic lang, isang basic na competency. I'm going to upload sa chat box the competency standards sa ano. Then try to get a copy of your training regulations. No, I cannot upload all the training regulations you need, no? So if there are questions, I will be glad to answer your questions. I will upload the materials. So if you take your lunch break, you can just leave. I will not close the meeting room. I hope you were able to. What do you call this? Get something from our session this morning. This afternoon, we will not be going into constructive alignment. Okay. I'll upload the template for the then so that is the template. You can modify